Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a spell story time on, I'm going to laugh, but on a HEX spell that I did on my ex, and it worked. If you guys don't already know, and if you guys haven't already seen, please go watch my love spell story time. This is a continuation of that video, but I'm going to talk more about the hex spell that I did. Not the love spell part. Actually, yeah, did a love spell and I hexed my ex at the same time. I know. Um, but hey, we live and we learn, right? No judgment here. But if you guys want to watch that video, I did this video like I think 2-3 years ago. It's already 2-3 years old. So go check it out. I'll post it in the link in the description box. But I wanted to do this video because I don't think I really talked about the hex spell that I did on my ex. And I had done several spells on my ex, but when my ex left me, I had done a love spell to bring him back, but he was still dealing with the third party energy. So I had done a spell to kind of remove the third party, but also kind of give him a little bit of a lesson. Like this was like a hex spell. And I had done this spell after I did the love spell. And this spell that I did, I used, I'm not going to say what I used, but I did something and it worked. It wasn't even a jar. This spell was like, I had gotten his photos and I had done like a little thing and it worked. And literally, oh God, the spell literally had caused him to get in a big fight with his ex-wife, and he got physical with her, and he ended up having to go to jail in the future because when he did this, it was very unlikely of him to do that. It was out of character, and he just snapped on her, and he ended up, harming her. My intention for the spell was to never harm. Sorry for the noise. My intention for the spell was to never harm her. Okay, the intention was to harm him, and not really to harm him, but you know what I mean, to give him, a lick back, and it worked, but it ended up, causing harm to her in the process, and he ended up having to, like I said, he was on the run. He ended up going to jail, and that was a big thing that happened. And you guys already watched my love spell story time. You guys already have seen that video. And I briefly talked about that, but I didn't really talk about the spell that I did, that little hex spell. I had done another one as well. And I don't think I mentioned it in the video how when my ex was, after I did the first one, my ex, like I said, he was on the run. He was, in a bad place. And the love spell that I did prior started to have an effect. It started to kick in and he started to become obsessed with me. He wanted to be back together with me, that he was on the run, and I'm like, we can't do that, right? Because I knew he was going to go to jail. And what's kind of funny is that he had asked me, did you do something? Because he knew I did spell work, but he's like, did you do a hex on me? I said, no, I never did anything. Like, of course I lied. I played it, I wasn't going to say I did in front of him because he would have got mad. But I don't know. I think he probably knew, but he just didn't want to argue. But it was weird because this was again after that happened and the love spell had kicked in and he was kind of becoming obsessed with me and I didn't want to be with him anymore. And I didn't get in a relationship with him. He wanted to get back together. And I said, no. I told him, hey, we can't get back together because your goose is cooked. The girl, what you did to that girl was terrible. And you're gonna go to jail. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so I had told him basically, no, we can't get back together. Like, dude, you did some crazy stuff. And he still insisted that we would get back together. So I, of course, was like, no, like we didn't get back together at all. but he kept on stalking me. He kept on coming to my house, and it got to a point where I blocked him off of everything, like off of Instagram, off of Facebook, off of Snapchat, and he was still making new accounts. And he knew where I lived because when we were together, he used to come pick me up all the time, and he used to be around my area a lot. And he ended up, like I said, when that happened with the girl, he was in my area pretty much all the time, and he wanted to come and see me. And it got to a point where I had blocked him, and I told him, "Hey, please don't ever bother me again." But I didn't break that love spell, the one that I told you that I didn't break it until a year after he was arrested and he had gone to jail. But yeah, so he literally was obsessed, and I ended up doing another hex spell. And this one that I did, which the reason why I did it was because I was just really fed up with him, and he had done some crazy stuff, and I ended up blocking him again. And I ended up doing this spell. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this. So I had done another spell. It was a strong spell, and literally 2 days later, he had contacted me on another account, and he's like, "Hey, I need your help." He's like, he sent me a message request. I didn't open it, but he had said, "Hey, I need your help. My car ended up crashing." So he said that he ended up falling asleep when he was driving. He said he had fallen asleep. He got all of a sudden very tired, and he hit this Amazon truck car. And I don't mean to laugh, but he was like freaking out. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then he messed up his car, and then he didn't have money. He didn't have money to fix his car. And that was at the same time he was on. He was literally going to get in trouble. This was right before he went to jail, and everything just kept going bad for him. Like everything, like he couldn't keep a job. Like he wasn't even working, but he was trying to apply for jobs, knowing that he was on the run, and it was a crazy story. And like I said, when I did the second one, his car literally, he had an Amazon truck, and then his car, the front part was damaged, and he ended up coming to my house, and he wanted to talk to me, and he told me more of the story, even though I blocked him, even though I didn't tell him to come. I told you at that time he was obsessed. He was like, he was just acting crazy. And he asked me again, "Did you do something to me?" I'm like, "No, I didn't do anything to you." But I don't want to laugh about it because, it's not funny, but it kind of is funny. But at the same time, I feel like, it was justified in ways. But yeah, like everything was just going bad for him. Like he was also fighting with people in public. Like I had seen a video during right. This was like when he had gone to jail. Someone had sent me a video. This is a video when before he went to jail, and this was the same amount of time when I had done that work on him because I saw the date of the video, and he was at a train station fighting with someone, and he was just doing a lot of weird things, and he never told me that part. I didn't know that he had done that until someone had sent me a message, a video of him at a train station in Hollywood. And I was like, whoa. And this is again around that time that I had done the spell. So I didn't know that it had really, like, he went downhill. Like, he went downhill, bro. And I was just like, whoa. And he ended up disappearing. Like I said, he went to jail. And then he went to jail, right? He just disappeared out of nowhere. He disappeared around like Thanksgiving. And I was like, I knew they caught him. I'm like, oh, he's probably went to jail, and he did. And then he ended up getting out the following year, around February, he bailed himself out, but then he went back in a week. But when he got out, he had contacted me to come and, you know, talk to me, but I literally ignored his messages, and I, you know, he didn't come. He didn't come. Knock on wood, he didn't come. But he had literally, when he got out, he contacted me. Like, he literally contacted me, and of course I had blocked him, but he had made another number and another Instagram account, and he had still tried to contact me, and I was just like, bro. So I never undid the spell. So the spell, I literally, what I did is I buried the spell. um I had buried it in my backyard, and it wasn't a jar, it was something else, and I never broke it. So that's another reason why the spell, you know, was potent. And I didn't know how strong it was, but the spell, I think, is still there. I never dug it up. The spell is still there, and I refuse to touch it. I would never touch it because, you know, I would never dig that energy up. But it is still there somewhere in the backyard of that house. So yeah, that was a story time that I hexed my ex, and, you know, his life went to shambles. I hope y'all don't think I'm a bad person. I'm not a bad person, guys. I don't condone doing hexes on people for no justifiable reasons. But please, if you do those spells, please make sure you protect yourself. Make sure that um, you know what you're doing, because you don't want to shit to backfire. You know, you don't want things to come back on you. And thank God I used protection. Nothing ever came back on me. But there was a price that somebody had to pay, and it was him. So just be mindful, guys, of the spell work that you guys do. And yeah. So if you guys ever, I'm not soliciting my services, but I do offer love spells. I do offer protection spells. I do offer those type of spells, but only if it's a justifiable situation. I think the reason why mine worked, because I was so angry at the time, and I have a Scorpio placement, Scorpio moon, and I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart, and Scorpio in my 8th house. So it's like, you know, that's a recipe for somebody to do witchcraft, and somebody who could do that type of stuff. So yeah, guys, without further ado, that is the end of my video, and I'll see you guys later, and please be safe, and I love you guys so much. Bye.